What's going on, everyone? So, Rui Hachimura, right? It's going to be interesting to see what the Lakers do with him in general this season. Right? Obviously, he's an expiring contract. Do the Lakers view him and see him as a long-term answer? But they also want a starting 3-and-D wing, which the Lakers really do need. I just think, especially slotted alongside Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, having Rui Hachimura, who's been great. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love Rui. The way he has adapted and molded and shaped his game to fit in seamlessly with this Lakers team through all these different iterations, it deserves applaud. But at the end of the day, what's best for the Lakers? Right? And the Lakers do need a legit two-way 3-and-D wing. Is Rui going to want to come off the bench long term? Is he going to be comfortable doing so? Right? Is he willing to take a roughly the same amount of money he's making right now, or is he going to want a bigger contract? What does he want on his next contract? If he wants $25 million plus next year, right? Like, the Lakers just can't keep him around. You got to pay Austin Reeves. You want to preserve cap space. If DeAndre Ayton's really good for him, he's going to be a bigger priority over Rui Hachimura. Jake LaRavia is younger. If Jake LaRavia is good, you might want to prioritize him because he might be cheaper over Rui Hachimura. Adu Thero, right? There's a lot of things that could kind of shape up for Rui Hachimura. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how that plays out. But you look at this Lakers roster, right? And, they have guys at pretty much every position. But outside of LeBron as your starting four, I think you should be playing Rui Hachimura much more at the four than you have in previous years, right? Rui's almost primarily been the three or the small ball center, right? Kind of the 4-5, but really it's like in the small ball unit. He's the guy that's defending on defense at that spot. But you look at this squad, right? You have guys like Jake LaRavia who could slot in and play the four. You have Jared Vanderbilt who slot in and play the four. But like those guys, like Jake LaRavia, he's better defensively and can stay in front of these quicker, twitchier guys that I think you should kind of keep LaRavia at the three. That doesn't mean you can't play him at the four at times, but Jared Vanderbilt, he's going to be defending guards more often than anything, right? So you could slot him position-wise the four, but I think he'll probably be more slotted three or two, right? Kind of spot where it's kind of like this position lineup. Like, that's where I see Jared Vanderbilt. Now, you look at the four spot, and it's like, okay, well, you could do... Obviously, LeBron James is going to play his 30 minutes, but then you could have Maxi Kleber, right, and kind of do these two big lineups with Kleber and Ayton or Kleber and Hayes. You could even at times kind of go with a Jackson Hayes and a DeAndre Ayton because of his ability to knock down the mid-range and the 15-footer. Maybe get some kind of unique, different looks and actions in that regard. But I also think you should embrace Rui Hachimura at the four more. It's kind of the reason I want him. Beyond, I just think it makes sense. But another reason I want him to come off the bench, outside of helping with the scoring off the bench, also now you could slot in a Jared Vanderbilt at the starting three. I've talked about it. I think the starting five should be Luka Doncic, Marcus Smart, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton. That's what I think our starting five should be, because I just think Luka likes to get going early. He likes to take, 15 attempts in the first quarter, and he wants to go drop 30 in the first quarter, right? So to me, it's let Luka be Luka, let Luka do his thing, and then when Luka goes to the bench, at the 5-minute mark or whatever, now Austin Reeves is coming in, giving Reeves some rest. Luka some rest. Now you got Reeves and LeBron playing off each other, and then when LeBron goes to the bench, boom, Rui Hachimura comes in, slots in at the four. So now you have Rui Hachimura who could be your backup four. So literally, your starting five could be, like I said, Luka Doncic, Marcus Smart, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton. And then you have, Gabe Vincent, Austin Reeves, Jake LaRavia, Rui Hachimura, and Jackson Hayes, right? And then, sprinkle in Adu Thero and Dalton Connect and all these other guys. But now you just have a much better, versatile, kind of balanced unit. And so that's why I like Rui Hachimura in that spot. And then now you could kind of just play him primarily as your backup four. And you can still play him at the three at times and all that stuff. But more likely than not, what's going to happen is Rui Hachimura is going to start at the three. But I think you maximize Rui's versatility. Right? Yes, you're still going to run small ball units at times in certain matchups where you're going to have Rui slot in at the five or whatever. But I'd like to see okay, him start at the 3, if that's the route that they're going to go, him play, whatever, the first 5 minutes or whatever at the 3, and then he goes to the bench, you bring in a Jared Vanderbilt or Jake LaRavia or whomever, and then now you have Rui Hachimura, when he comes in next, have him slot in at the 4, right? Because, like, if you have, right now, Rui Hachimura and LeBron James starting, who's coming off the bench for LeBron? So there's a couple ways you could do that, right? Obviously, you could go, like I said, Maxi Kleber, slot him at the 4. You could, what you want to do is, what I would probably do is you take LeBron out at the 5-minute mark, right? And then you kind of notch Rui over, so slide Rui over to the 4, and then you bring in a Jared Vanderbilt or a Marcus Smart or whomever, right? Also, maybe LeBron and Reeves go to the bench, and then you have kind of like how they operated with Anthony Davis, where Anthony Davis play like the whole first quarter, like let Luka play in the first like he likes to. So then you go with, so I would have like my starters, LeBron checks out, Reeves checks out, then you have, Rui Hachimura slide down to the 4. You have, if you want to bring Jackson Hayes in, you can bring Jackson Hayes in. But then you have Marcus Smart slot in at the 2 in place of Austin Reeves, and then bring in Jared Vanderbilt or Jake LaRavia as your 3. So now Rui still is out there on the basketball court, and then, of course, you take him out. And then, so to me, instead of like swapping, like having like hockey shift changes, I would just like slide guys down, right? So like, you can do the same thing with like Jake LaRavia too, and a Dude Theoro and guys like that, where like, so again, LeBron goes out, Rui slides down, boom, he's the 4, bring in Jake LaRavia, right? Rui goes to the bench, boom, slot down Jake LaRavia, he slides in, boom, Jared Vanderbilt slides in. Okay, well now he goes and Jared Vanderbilt slots in or slides down or moves up, whatever, and then now you're bringing in a Dude Theoro, right? And he slots it. So it's just kind of shifting guys down and like this like turnout, right? And I think that that's probably the best approach. And now you can kind of I think you'll be better able to maximize Rui Hachimura. Because, you had Anthony Davis and you had LeBron James primarily playing the 3 and the 4. And then you bring in guys like Dorian Finney-Smith, who you're kind of slotting in at the 3 and the 4 at times and stuff. Like, and it's something we've talked about for a while of like, having Rui play more 4, because that's just his better natural position. He rebounds better, kind of more at an advantage there, especially on the defense side of things, because they're usually not as quicker, twitchier, athletic type of 3s, right? Those guys are playing the 3, right? The forwards that are, kind of more Rui size, Rui can match up in, and a lot of those guys can't defend Rui even, right? So you can put Rui on the block, you can give Rui the basketball, he can shoot in that corner as well as just, take guys off the dribble, get to the basket, all that stuff. So you can kind of run these different sort of dynamics going forward where, I'm hoping that JJ at least, you're going to experiment early on, right? You're going to try different things. You're going to, hey, let's see what, like I mentioned, Jackson Hayes and DeAndre Ayton looks like, right? Let's see what, a Dude Theoro, Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic looks like. And it's just this small ball unit that's like you can be creative in your lineups, in your rotations, in your various forms, but I really just want to see the Lakers, do a good job of kind of maximizing their players. And now you have more guys that you want to slot into different areas, right? Like Jake LaRavia, I think will play some 4. Dude Theoro, I think will play some 4, right? Like I talked about, we'll see how it goes in training camp. Like how do guys look? How, who's really kind of, stepping up and emerging on this roster, right? Maybe Jake LaRavia is like just killing it in training camp. It's like, dude, maybe he's the guy that you're starting, right? Like, because I want to see Rui. You see Rui kind of just get glued to the 3 spot at times. And again, to his credit, he's adapted and evolved into that in so many ways, but that doesn't mean that that's still his proper slotting. So it doesn't mean that's his proper position. And now that you have guys that may be able to better, because that was the problem, you didn't have guys that could better slot into those spots. So it's like, you might as well just keep Rui there, because it's like, who else are you going to go? Like Dorian Finney-Smith, you want him versatile he's slotting in all these different positions and stuff, playing the floor, backing up LeBron and doing all that stuff, right? But in previous years, it's like, okay, what are you doing, right? Unless you're moving AD to the 4, which, you know, you saw JG do at times with like him and Hayes and stuff. So where now I just look at it and it's like Jake LaRavia could slot in and play the 3 for you. A dude Thero, if you're going to give him minutes and opportunity, he can slot in and play for you. And then also Jared Vanderbilt, who was hurt the last, you know, year and a half, like he can now slot in and play the 3 for you. So I just think now you have more options to justify and warrant putting Rui more at the 4. So now, like we're in the, like last year in particular, it was like that's probably the best spot for him right now, because you want to go with, you know, Dorian Finney-Smith and have him kind of be the help defender and operate and kind of float around. And then, you know, Jared Vanderbilt was hurt for most of the year and he's coming back. And so you're trying to like limit him on minutes and stuff like that, right? Like where now I just think it's like, hey, just go. Right? Let all these guys go. Let them get out there. Let them hoop. Let them play the thing. Let's you know, maximize Rui, let him play the 3, but maximize him more at the 4 at times. I think that that's the approach. But as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. If you enjoy these types of videos, truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Join the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.